you're destroying the flavor of your food, and you don't even know. There are at least 5 foods that are scientifically killing them at a molecular level. I'm talking about a tomato, the smell of last night's leftovers, fruit that's turning mealy while you're being careful. You think cold equals fresh, but the breakdown happening in your fridge right now, which they taste the way nature intended. This is scientists who've spent decades studying, and you want it to actually taste good, you need to hear the 5 foods. Smash that to challenge everything you think. By minute 15, you're going to be looking at your refrigerator completely differently. Not just this tastes good or this tastes bad. Flavor is hundreds of volatile organic compounds, and temperature controls the speed of those molecules. When you cool food down to refrigerator temperature, those volatile compounds stop flying. The chemistry changes. Enzymes shut down. Destruction chamber. Now, I'm going to walk you through the science, food by food, so you understand exactly what's happening and what to do about it. Red, aromatic tomatoes, and you're putting them in the fridge. Let me tell you about proceedings of the National Academy of Perfect Tomatoes in 7 days. The cold just slow down flavor development, ability to produce flavor compounds at the genetic level for creating volatile like Z3-hexanol. When they brought the tomatoes back to room temperature, the genes undo the damage. They identified 13 chemicals that make a tomato smell and taste like a But here's what really matters. They did blind taste, and across the board, flavor intensity, sweet tomatoes scored significantly lower. It gets worse. Tomato made of pectin, filled with juice and flavor. Ice crystals form. Those crystals are like, scientists call this chilling injury. When you bite into mushy texture, the flavor compound going to waste. On this from the Journal of Food Science, tomatoes store increases in mealiness within 3 to 5 days. Mealiness is cellular break. Tomatoes away from direct sunlight. 68 to 7 temperature, the tomatoes continue ripening. Pounds increase. You have options. Make sauce immediately, roast them, blend them into salsa. There's less. The only exception, and this is half of it, now refrigeration is acceptable. Just bring it back to room temperature before you eat it. A Spanish study found that cut tomatoes lose about storage of cut tomatoes. Cold is never in the fridge, ever. Your taste buds will thank you. Coffee beans. I know some of you are refrigerating your coffee right now, and I need you to stop. Coffee contains over 1,000 aromatic compounds. 1,000. These are developed during roasting. Pyrazines, furans, aldehydes, ketones, and they're incredibly volatile. Volatile means they evaporate easily, which is exactly what you want because that's how you smell and taste them. But refrigeration does 3 catastrophic things to coffee. Number 1, condensation. Every time you take cold beans out of the fridge, moisture forms on the surface as they warm up. Coffee beans are hygroscopic, meaning they absorb moisture like a sponge. And water accelerates staling through a process called hydrolysis, where water molecules break down aromatic compounds. The Specialty Coffee Association did research on this. Coffee stored at refrigerator temperature and repeatedly exposed to room temperature air lost 30% of its key aromatic volatiles in just 2 weeks compared to room temperature storage. 30%. That's nearly a third of your flavor gone. Number 2, oil solidification. Coffee beans contain oils that carry a huge amount of the flavor. When those oils get cold, they solidify and trap aromatic compounds inside. Then when you brew, those compounds extract more slowly, giving you a flatter, less aromatic cup. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that cold coffee beans don't smell as strong as room temperature beans? That's because the volatile compounds are literally moving slower. Basic physics. Number 3, odor absorption. Coffee is porous. In your fridge, it's sitting next to onions, garlic, leftovers, cheese. A study from Kansas State University found that coffee can absorb environmental odors in as little as 12 hours when stored improperly. You want your coffee to taste like garlic? No? Then get it out of the fridge. Professional coffee tasters, they're called Q graders, can identify refrigerated coffee in blind taste tests. They describe it as having muted aromatics, a papery flavor, and less complexity. These are people trained to detect subtle differences, and they can instantly tell. So what's the solution? Store whole bean coffee in an airtight, opaque container at room temperature, away from light, heat, and moisture. Whole beans stay fresh for 3 to 4 weeks this way. Now, if you buy in bulk, here's the pro move. Portion your coffee into weekly amounts. Keep one portion at room temperature for immediate use, freeze the rest in truly airtight containers. Notice I said freeze, not refrigerate. Freezing is completely different. At 0 degrees Fahrenheit, molecular movement essentially stops. If your container is completely airtight, no condensation forms. Studies show this method preserves volatile compounds much better than refrigeration. The key, when you pull a portion from the freezer, let it come to full room temperature before opening the container. This prevents condensation from forming on the beans. Whatever you do, never refrigerate coffee. It's the worst of both worlds. Cold enough to damage flavor, not cold enough to halt degradation. Room temperature or freezer, those are your only options. Food number 3, stone fruits. Stone fruits, peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots. If you're refrigerating these before they're ripe, you're committing a flavor crime. Here's why. Stone fruits are what scientists call climacteric fruits. That means they continue ripening after harvest through a process mediated by ethylene gas. As they ripen, enzymes create flavor compounds, esters, aldehydes, lactones. These are the chemicals that make a peach smell like heaven. The USDA Agricultural Research Service did a fascinating study. They tracked flavor development in peaches stored at 36 degrees versus 68 degrees. The results were dramatic. Cold-stored peaches had significantly lower levels of volatile compounds, specifically gamma-decalactone and linalool. These are the primary chemicals that literally smell like peach. The cold essentially froze the ripening process while still allowing degradation. You get older fruit, but not riper fruit, not better fruit. Just older, worse fruit. Then there's the texture problem. Have you ever bitten into a peach that should be ripe, but instead it's meal? Bread, real bread, with actual flavor. Not the I know many of you refrigerate bread because you think slow mold, but you know what else it does? It turns your bread. Explain the science, because this is fascinating. When bread is baked, water and gelatinized, creating that soft, fluffy texture. After baking, it's a natural process. But here's the kicker. Temperatures. Between 32 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, in the Journal of Food Science measured this precisely. Bread stored at temperature 6 times, actually destroying it. At room temperature, around 68 to 70 degrees, to stay somewhat flexible. And then compounds created during alcohols, esters, aldehydes. These give bread its character or become trapped in the crystallized starch structure. Bland and feels dry, even if it's not migrated into the starch crystals, and the flavor compounds are retrogradation. It just masks it with new Maillard reaction flavors. Now, let's talk about crust, a rigid structure during baking. Humidity in the fridge migrates from the humid environment, a leathery crust and a stale interior, the worst of both worlds. So what's the solution? For bread, the cut side facing down prevents the interior from drying out too quickly. For bread you won't entirely and go straight to the freezer. At 0 degrees, starch bread. Properly wrapped bread can stay when you want to eat it, take it out, let it thaw at 350-degree oven for 5 to 10 minutes. The heat studies show that frozen and reheated bread is flavor. The bottom line, room temperature for short term, freezer for long term. The refrigerator. Tomatoes. Never refrigerate whole tomatoes. Room temperature, stem side down. Refrigerate coffee beans. Room temperature in an airtight container and leads to odor absorption. Stone fruits properly and they'll develop mealy texture from chilling injury. Room Basil. Treat it like flowers and a glass of water on your counter. Cold temperatures cause cell damage and happens 6 times faster in the fridge. Room temperature for a few days. All of these foods either continue developing flavor after cold or suffer structural damage at refrigerator temperature. It's a specific dairy, meat. Yes, these belong in the fridge. Ripening produce and crusty carbohydrates, the fridge cold equals safe, cold equals good. But the science tells a different story. Food at the wrong temperature, you're fundamentally altering its chemical composition. In mealy peach or a flavorless tomato, you're tasting the consequences of chilling injury and volatile accelerated starch retrogradation. Every time your basil turns abstract science, this is happening in your kitchen. Go to your refrigerator and audit it. Are there tomatoes in there? Take them out. Basil? Definitely take it out. Bread? Take it out unless you get a glass for your basil, find a bread box or a spot on the counter. This isn't preference, this is chemistry. If this video storing their tomatoes wrong their entire life. Subscribe for more food science that food tastes the way it's supposed to. Surprised you most. It's always the bread. I'll see you from the refrigerator.